yeah, but come on, touching his, like his belly, like, ugh.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to, if you haven't guessed it, the first episode of Cantina Conversations. Now, we usually do nicknames. I don't know. I don't have a nickname because it's the first episode. I'm so surprised. I'll just go with the Sith Lord Trasnell. For now, it's gonna get better as it goes along, but.
I am Darth Field.
Oh boy. So glad to be doing a Star Wars show with you, want to open up the variety of the channel that no one else do a Star Wars podcast with. But no, what we kind of talk about what the show is going to be is we talk about Star Wars on Geekverse all the time, so we're still going to break down trailers and news and everything like that. But this is going to be for more not even mainline conversations, but just more one-on-one convos. We may have a guest on maybe more once in a while, but it's going to be more just topic-based, and usually it's just going to be one topic. So there's times like we were talking on Last Jedi, and there's certain conversations we said, like, we could have talked for, like, another hour, another 2 hours. Not every cast member wants to do that, So this alleviates them and alleviates the listeners that maybe you're not there for the Star Wars news. So you see this, whatever the headline, whatever the thumbnail is going to be, we're going to probably just spend most time on that. Today's a bad example because we're talking about D-23 and that's a variety of stuff. But usually it's going to be like one topic and then we'll talk it in depth and get down to the nitty gritty. So first off, just in case people are new and this may be their first time listening, because I have a lot of dynamic duo, people didn't listen to Geekverse and first time listening, what is your history with your Star Wars fandom? You want to tell that to the hopefully some new viewers, and it'll be a little repeater for other people, but
I gotta dive into my childhood a little bit here. Star Wars for me, I remember seeing all the originals and then the prequels were coming out, and I wasn't old enough for my parents to take me to see like episode 1 and 2 in theaters, which is probably okay.
Yeah.
But Revenge of the Sith, I remember.
You didn't see the prequels in the theaters?
I saw Revenge of the Sith in the theater. I got an awesome Lego set from that movie with the clones and everything. It was so cool, and I was like going to see that movie. And people dressed up too. That's where it really started to get full on, when I got to actually be in the theater and experience this kind of crowd.
Episode 1 and 2 aren't even that violent. I don't know, and especially they let you go to Revenge of the Sith, which is like the most violent.
I was old enough at that time. My parents were like, "Oh, he's young and he may enjoy Star Wars, but he won't even know these movies are in theaters right now."
And had you seen the original trilogy before?
I watched them, but I didn't fully understand what was going on. I like the Star Wars theme.
The Star Wars theme.
But now...
And continue. You haven't.
Oh yeah.
Because you should continue on that. You even like the prequels, so you have a good mix of people here. Because I'll tell in a second what my feelings are in Star Wars. But.
There's definitely things I would change about the prequels, but they are what they are. And
what's one? What's your? If you get only one to change, what's this gonna be?
I can only change one. Yeah,
only one thing.
I would add more Clone Wars stuff.
Oh my god! You got a whole TV series of it.
I know.
That's the one thing you're gonna
change.
The
TV series is great, but I want live action clone troopers. We got like less than like half an hour of clone troopers actually fighting out of the whole prequel trilogy. That's not enough for me. But the prequels they weren't bad. I do enjoy them. We got to see tons of Jedi out there. We got to see all this whole new dynamic, and even though many people don't agree with the backstory behind Anakin, no, I don't mind it.
Not at all.
He was struggling. He had a hard time.
I think you said you don't think they're bad. You like them. I'm pretty sure Revenge of the Sith. Didn't you give that when we did our commentary like a 9 out of 10 or something?
I really like Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, it is the best one out of the 3.
It is. Aside from the Movie Maker video transitions, like the spinning.
Okay, don't go aside. There's so many other things I could bring up in that one. And then how are you on the 2 newest? Because you got your 3 eras. You got your OG era, you got your prequel era, and now you got the Disney era. How are you feeling about the Disney era so far? A very controversial era for both Force Awakens and Rogue One, and more movies that we're going to talk about today. But
everyone, I think, when Force Awakens came out, we were just blown away by it, and we loved it. And I was the same way. And then after, the nitpicking followed soon after. For me...
and then what, made you not like it?
No, I still like it, but then I understand where the nitpicking and how the similarities are from that and the original. But for me, Rogue One stands way up there as my #1 favorite. I love the characters, the story, the build-up. I think it was amazing.
You should go check back our review for a whole breakdown
It
of
was
that.
a
But
sad day.
yeah, so I was a big fan of Star Wars. I've always said in my life it goes like comic books, wrestling, Star Wars. I love Star Wars. I'm very critical of it, but I'm critical because I love it. And I think we're on the different spectrums of I'm more the mainstream guy. I watch a little bit of TV shows, play video games, watch all the movies. Have never read a Star Wars book. I've seen little experts out of it, but like, and you're more of the this and that and everything. So I'm more the mainstream Star Wars fan and just the films, and you're very much into the canon and the lore. I'm into it. It's just time. I don't have those times. I have thought about diving into some books audio version, so I'm thinking about it. So we'll see one day. But yeah, the original trilogy I was shown as a kid by my grandparents. I actually had for the first time. It's that collector's VHS. I don't know if I still have it. It's either I have it or I gave it back to my grandma.
Is that like the steel or the like silver packaging?
I don't think so. No, there was a collector's one that had 3 different color covers. I think.
Oh.
I can't remember who was on them. Yoda, Vader.
Yeah.
I don't know who was
Stormtrooper.
Stormtrooper. Yeah. So those are really special. I think I have those somewhere. So I started with those, and then the prequel trilogy. I think I could say I loved as a kid. I've definitely grown up from there, and I'm not a fan of it. I think the biggest thing for me, I think there's still good things in there, and I think when we did our commentary tracks, I said I'd never watch them again. I still haven't yet, so I'll see how long that goes. I don't plan to, just because the last time I watched them, I just remembered, they feel so long, and it just feels like it goes on forever. I'm watching something I really don't like, and for me, it's the biggest thing. For you podcast listeners, Taylor has like a huge Darth Vader size on his, like action figure, whatever,
I don't even know if this is
on his knee, whatever. I don't know what that would classify, but he's a huge Vader, and that was, I think, the biggest thing for me as I got older, that I felt it like really hurt Darth Vader. I could never look at Darth Vader the same. And other than Rogue One, I hadn't been scared from Darth Vader in a while. Loved Force Awakens. I still do. I understand. I think the same thing as you. I understand the nitpicks and the criticisms, and it is very similar. I'm definitely more in the camp of if Last Jedi's like that again, then I can't really give it a pass. But I kind of give it a pass for. It's not a reboot, it's continuing on the franchise, but it feels like a reboot. It feels like, we're just like taking stuff from the OG movies and just changing it slightly. Even though I'd argue, like I got Kyle helmet on my desk, like, I argue that there is really new things in that trilogy, or not, well, soon to be a trilogy, but in that film alone, like Kylo to me is like, he's one of my favorite Star Wars characters. I gotta see what happens to him overall, but like, he's one of the most like complex characters Star Wars has, because he's not just one note. He's not just angry. Like, there's so much I want to learn about him. So I love Force Awakens. I still do. I can watch it over. Rogue One I like. I was very, very disappointed, and we're gonna get into today talking about Han Solo. But I was very disappointed, and I'm just in general any movies. Just prequel movies are hard for me because I'm just not a fan. If I usually know the beats, I kind of tune out. Like I could say like Wonder Woman was one that was an exception. Like Planet of the Apes is an exception. There's a few in there, but like I think I could maybe name you like 10 good prequels, and that's about it. There's more garbage than there is good stuff. So in Rogue One, it was no garbage. I just was not a fan of it. And go back to the review because I'm not getting into it. But like I liked it enough, but I was a little disappointed by it. So that's our little spectrum of stars. So if you're listening the first time, kind of our likes or dislikes, what we're into. So what the main topic is today, there's a couple ones, but the main one is in 2 weeks, July 15th. Well, I guess I think it starts like a 12th and a whatever. Like it goes like, but the day we're going to be talking about, July 15th. D-23, and that's the day we'll be doing a podcast. D-23 is happening. That's Disney's expo when they show off all their animation movies, their live action movies, their Star Wars, their Marvel, everything like that. So I want to get into, I guess the main question is, first I'm asking the first question of, do you think Han Solo is going to be talked about D-23? But before you answer that, I want to ask you to talk about, what are your feelings about this whole Han Solo situation? I talked about it on a Thought Bubbles like an hour after it was reported, and at that point it was just, hey, these guys have left the project. Obviously it was shady, because like, who would leave that far into it? But we haven't really talked about, you and me have really actually talked about it at all. So you had reports of them getting fired because they didn't like the way it was going or the way it looked. You've had reports of some people saying that it felt like an Ace Ventura, like Han Solo felt like Ace Ventura. You had reports saying that the star went to the directors and kind of saying like, oh, I don't think something's right, or not to the directors, to Kathleen Kennedy and the Star Wars. Lawrence Kasdan is writing this, like went to them like, oh, I don't think something's right, and they looked into it and they felt they weren't. There's rumors that there's personal issues. Apparently they got a new editor. They fired another one. There's an acting coach for Alden Ehrenreich, which isn't, a huge thing, because lots of times that happens in Hollywood. You can get an acting coach, but usually all this stuff, and like I'm not gonna go over all of it because we're like a few weeks away, so you should know the story by now. If you don't, then I don't know. I don't know why you're watching the show if you have no idea what the Han Solo. I honestly don't. I really don't. But and then like for everything that's happened so far, I don't think it's strange. But what makes it even weirder is that it happened with, I think there was, they said 3 weeks left to go shooting, and then reshoots as well. So give me your height of emotions from when you found this out to now. Like, what was your first experience when you saw that headline? Because that was huge. When I saw that, I was just like, holy shit. And then, where are you now on the spectrum?
When I first saw it, I thought, well, that kind of sucks.
That's it. Well, that kind of sucks. And then you went back to playing Friday the 13th.
Where I'm at now, I'm a little bit more interested in the sense that, they got to get their shit together.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think that they had any of this kind of problems with Force Awakens. They ran into some with Rogue One, and now it seems to be even more of an issue. And I don't really know what the catch is. Like, why was there no issue with Force Awakens and there's an issue with it now?
I heard there was minor, other than Harrison Ford breaking his leg, there was some rumors that maybe J.J. Abrams had a minor problem there, but not enough to really hear about it, and not enough to be a big controversy or stir when the movie came out was good. And we'll get to Rogue One in a second, but if, let's say, not counting Force Awakens, why do you think I almost called them the prequels. I guess they are prequels. Why do you think the prequels, like the anthology spin-offs, why do you think those are having a problem? And even right now, even if Force Awakens had little minor problems if someone said something, Last Jedi, there's been no report. So I lean more to Force Awakens. If there was something, it was maybe just a hiccup, a disagreement over maybe a scene or two. But, like, why do you think the problem seemed to be with the anthology? Because I honestly thought it would be the other way around. If we were seeing this talking, someone saying in 5 years, they're making the anthologies, they're making these sagas, the films are going to have a lot of controversy around them. And I think sagas that I feel like they'd want you to, you got to stick to these plot points, you got to do this, you got to do that. Where anthology, I feel like for the most part, you can kind of play around. Han Solo, you can play around to extent because it's still the same character as the OG trilogy, but I still thought there was more room to breathe, but it really doesn't feel that way. Like Rogue One was rumored that it got reshot 60-70%, and you can, obviously everyone can see it because there's scenes and trailers just missing. Yeah. It seemed like the original trailers kind of made it feel a little darker, which I still think Rogue One was dark enough, but still did feel a little different, the trailers, to what we got. So why do you think the anthology films are leading to controversy or problems? Like, what is it about that are making them, I don't know, scared to...
I think it comes down to just I don't want to say control, but the creative aspect of it, like what they're going to do for storyline, because I don't know why they keep picking stories in between 3 and 4. All we needed was Rogue One. That's fine. This one, I feel like it's like, kudos to them for tackling it, and it's on a main character too from the original trilogy. But I think it's just they're very limited in what they could probably incorporate. Then again, they are creating everything from scratch. Like, it's all their new universe that they're introducing. But that being said, it's still a very limited time frame between 3 and 4 that they have to work with.
Do you think they do that because for these first anthologies they want there to be like a familiarity? Kind of the same way Marvel is now just doing like an Ant-Man and Doctor Strange, where at first they did like, Hulk, Iron Man, Captain America, like they did their bigger ones. Because that's kind of my spectrum, is like, I feel like right off the bat, I feel like we're making Knights of the Old Republic, people aren't going to know what the fuck that is, but they know what Han Solo is.
Yeah, but then it makes me think, like, why wouldn't they do Han Solo before Rogue One? Because then everyone's wondering, like, Rogue One, is this... Darth Vader's in this. He died, didn't he? Like, it creates that confusion.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there was anything... Because I guess we kind of already knew about the Han Solo movie before Force Awakens came out, so I was like, maybe they're going to capitalize
Did we know before that?
Well, it was rumored.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if we knew, because I was trying to wonder if they were going to maybe try to, like, capitalize on the death of Han Solo and be like, he died, go see more of him here. But I I don't know why they would have done Rogue One. Rogue One maybe just to use Darth Vader again, because you can't really use him they even tried to use him in the marketing of Force Awakens. They did with his burnt helmet.
But then you think it would work better with Han Solo's send-off to put out the Han Solo movie first, and then with Kylo Ren, who knows with his story, then they could introduce Darth Vader in the spin-off for like in Rogue One after Episode 8 comes out. It just seems like it would tie in better.
Yeah. No, I never thought about that. That's not a bad point. So, I guess to start off with is how we're okay. What you liked Rogue One? This is what I'm trying to get to. You liked Rogue One. I didn't. What would you say to people like myself? Because this is the thing. You have your camp of people, and I've listened to other podcasts, and I feel this way. People go, you know what? There were some problems with Rogue One, but they reshot all this stuff, and look how it turned out, and I really liked it. And some people say it's great. I am not that person. When people say like, "Oh, it just turned out great," I'm not that person. I go, "No, I don't think it turned out the best. Like, I think it turned out all right, and I think that they played it really safe. And that's why even when this movie comes out, I don't think it's gonna be a bad movie. I think they're gonna play it safe because they got Ron Howard, who I think is a safe choice. And no matter what, it'll be like a all right movie. But at that point, I don't want just an all right Han Solo movie. I want something amazing. So for people that aren't you, that did not like, or were all right on Rogue One, how do you say? Because you said you were seeing lots of hate after for a while. You're looking at it. Where were you even looking at this?
Just the internet.
Where in the internet?
Everywhere on the internet. Google mostly.
But there's a lot of people worried about. What would you say? Well, one, are you worried about this?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I am.
Are you just flat out worried, or is there something you're telling yourself at bed at night before you go to sleep why this is going to be okay?
Every night. I just think that this is a story that shouldn't be tackled. With Han Solo, it should be left alone.
Well, they're tackling it, so you got no choice.
We have no choice. They shouldn't be, but we got no choice. I think that there's so much other things that they could do, and with what's happened so far with this movie, I just feel like it shouldn't be pursued. I'm just not excited for it.
Okay, so you are like Mr. Eternal Optimist. That's why I asked you this question. So there's nothing that you can tell yourself to get yourself to not worry about these things?
Like, when Rogue One was coming out, I won't lie, there's a part of me that wasn't uberly excited, as I was for Force Awakens. I was excited to see Star Wars, but at the same time, I didn't think there was going to be anything that blew me away. And I was very wrong. With this movie...
It's your favorite Star Wars movie still.
It is. With this movie, I'm getting that feeling like there's nothing that's going to blow me away, but then I'm hoping that they'll dish out something like awesome fight scenes, or maybe a Darth
Vader. Fight scenes, or what?
A Darth Vader, not with Darth Vader, but something on
just
that same level.
Scene in the movie. They don't even do a new scene; they just put it right in the middle of the movie.
Something of that, like equivalent to that, but in Han Solo's verse, I guess.
Do you like Rogue One, or do you just like that Vader scene so much? That's what puts it scene above and everything.
But else. I love Chirrut, the blind dude. He's fantastic.
Oh God. Yeah, I really don't know. Like, I try and go for myself. Like I said, I think it's going to be just an alright movie. I was in the same camp as you. We talked about many times, Geek First. I was not a fan of them doing this movie. I'm not saying now, like, oh, you got to shut it down. They're going to make it. They spent millions of dollars. I just didn't feel like I needed to know more about Han Solo and, like, the past. And many people have said this before, so it's not a hot take, of, like, I kind of liked having his own backstory for myself and thinking of, like, hearing little things here and there, but I don't know if I need to show everything explained. Rogue One, I was less, like, apprehensive because characters for the most part we didn't know, right? Like, I'm fine when they bring back, like, Bail Organa or Vader or Tarkin. That's different because they're playing minor roles, but it wasn't like, if they would announced, hey, we're making Grand Moff Tarkin the movie, I would have been like, I don't really need to see this movie, And with the prequels, like you talked about it, or these new prequels, that they do seem to be set on 3 to 4, and I just wonder if that's just like, I think it is just them kind of playing it safe, and they love that original trilogy, so it's just like, oh, everyone loves the original Star Wars, so we'll get close to that, but I want them to get further away, and like, of course I want Knights of the Republic, but just stuff that's even 1,000 years in the future. It's the same thing if they do something like a Yoda movie. It's like, okay, but then make it so far gone that it doesn't connect. The only one for me, we'll talk about in a bit, is Obi-Wan. But other than that, I didn't really feel like this needed to happen. I'm a fan of the directors, and I thought that was one of the reasons I did get excited, was Phil or Christopher Miller. Sometimes I screw up the first names, but like they did 21 Jump Street, 22 Jump Street, which I didn't see those in the theater, and I thought they were both going to be like, not 22 I guess, but when I saw 21, it's like, this is going to be lame. I like that a lot. The Lego movie's great. They did Cloud with a Chance of Meatballs. So that was one of those things where you tell me Han Solo, okay, I'm not excited for it, and then you put those guys on, and the cast is pretty good as well, so I got excited. Once they went away, my thing is, and then all these rumors came out about like them making it really like slapsticky, and like obviously that's been the one quote that's been used so much is like the Ace Ventura one. And the thing is, the only way I go back to it is way like last summer. Before Comic-Con, DC released like a set visit. Like the press gets to go there and see the set and everything. And usually they release that a few months before the movie, but they release it really early because obviously there's negative press, so they want to get stuff out. And I remember me, Liam, and Kyle, there was a scene that the press got to watch, and it was that scene that they show in the very first Justice League trailer of Batman when he's in the Flash's house, and he does that thing when they have that conversation, he throws the Batarang in slow motion, and they... That scene, when we read it, Liam and I, we read it like, he took on one role, I took another, and we read it back and forth, and we thought that it sounded really cheesy and sounded really bad. When I see in the trailer, I still have like minor problems, but when I see in the trailer, I like it a lot more. So that's why I don't buy the full-on, he was Ace Ventura, because if he's Ace Ventura, if he is, then I get it, but like, if he was, that's... I don't know how that happens, but I just don't see, like, if you think about Ace Ventura and the body moments, like the sound effects, I really don't think that was it. I feel like that was, in these reports, you're going to get a lot of hyperbole. Yeah. So this is the thing that, the thing is, do you, should I phrase this? If this movie comes out and people aren't a fan of it, do you think that for the rest of the time, everyone's going to be... Because right now people hear this and like, yeah, I wouldn't want Ace Ventura Han Solo. But do you think if the movie comes out and it kind of underwhelms or even sucks, that people will be like, oh man, I really wish we got to see Lord Miller's take?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way the internet works now. People are... They're going to say that.
What camp do you fall in? And you don't even have to take a side, but what way do you look at it as far as like the directors opposed to like Kathleen Kennedy, Lawrence Kasdan, and like Disney? How do you feel about those two, and like how do you feel about how it was handled? Maybe about that. Like you look at Rogue One, that director was there for the reshoots. They brought another director in to help him, and it's been quoted saying he was like a team player. Obviously, these guys were probably not. But how do you feel it was handled? And do you lean anyway? Were you more interested to see what they were going to do with it, or do you tend to lean to some of these reports and go, maybe they should have canned them?
I mean,
it's tough when we don't know everything.
It's tough. Yeah, we don't know everything. If they were just outright fired, I mean, they must have done something to really not be okay.
The rumor was that they were talking about doing the reshoots and maybe with another director, and they were saying that they didn't want anyone else helping with the reshoots, and they would just do the reshoots. That's one of the many rumors. That was I think some people say it's kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back. Yeah.
I feel like if you're directing like a franchise as big as this, you got to be flexible. You got to work with. If you need reshoots, then that's not a good thing. First of all, I guess.
No, those were planned reshoots. There's a difference between like the Rogue One, and then there's movies like Justice League right now is getting planned reshoots, or like Infinity War. Like lots of times big companies do plan reshoots. They plan like, in this month we got to go back and do like pickups, or like, this isn't missing. But I think they'll shoot a lot more now because of the obvious. So
yeah, it just comes down. They must have, I don't know. Whatever they did, whatever direction they were taking it, I'm assuming Kathleen Kennedy she's knowing what's going on and handled it appropriately. But maybe, I mean, a little bit more discussion would have been okay. I wish we knew the full story because
we'll never get that.
This is Star Wars.
We'll get that in 20 years.
Yeah.
And then how did you feel if those things were true about the Ace Ventura thing? What is your level of comedy that you think would be acceptable with Han Solo? Because this is my thing as well. You look at them hiring them, and you look at their other movies. It's not like they did like Logan. Have you seen Logan yet?
No, I haven't.
Oh my god! Why do you use that as an example? But like you look at their movies, 21 Jump Street, Meatballs, like Lego Movie. They're all very comedic and tongue in cheek. So that's the thing of you've seen probably most of those movies. I imagine, right? That's where I don't buy the Ace Ventura thing. I think they maybe made a bit too tongue-in-cheek, but where's your level of comedy? When is too much for Han Solo? And if so, then why did they hire these people?
Too much comedy. I really got to think about that. When they try to force you to laugh, when it's not funny anymore, but it's just too much that they're forcing on you. I don't like that. I like it when it's just.
And are you saying just comedy in general, or these people, or these directors do?
A comedy in general, like some of their stuff, like Meatballs and stuff. I don't find it funny.
Okay.
I think.
Wow. There's all these guys in movies.
There's like one or two.
It's not funny to me.
There's like one or two things that's like kind of like cheesy. It's funny, but for the most part, I don't know. But at the end of the day, if it was anything like Ace Ventura, I love Ace Ventura, don't get me wrong, but you bring that into Star Wars as Han Solo, someone we know. Han Solo, from what we've seen in the originals, he's got his feet kicked up. He doesn't give a shit. He says like a one-liner and he knows it's cool.
I thought he was going to give us an example, but no.
He
says a one-liner.
He that's just the kind of character that I see him as.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see him walk out waving his arms around.
Yeah. I just generally don't. I could not see how they would take it in that route. I really don't. I just feel like that's over the top. And if they did, more power to them, I guess. But it's going to be interesting to see over the next few months. So I just want to do you have any other... We're going to talk about it a bit more, but do you have any other general thoughts you want to get out there about Han Solo?
If he walks out and just says, "Alrighty then," like, I'm done. Like,
okay, that's not going to happen now. I don't think he's quoting... Walks out like the Millennium Falcon and Bethlehem. Woo! Okay, so then I have some questions. So D-23 is coming up, and I imagine you think about Star Wars Celebration. That was really Last Jedi focused. I imagine their plan, and like I'll ask you if you agree, that I feel like Han Solo is going to be the big focus at D-23.
Yeah.
You gotta remember that's also audio listeners. Taylor for a good 3 seconds just shook his head yes. Like, no, you also gotta say. So the thing is, they've also, I don't think it's 100% announced, but like all reports are pointing to they're not gonna be at Comic-Con, which makes sense. I think they're at Comic-Con for D23, what the fuck?
Comic-Con for D23.
For Force Awakens, and that made sense because the first time back, but for me, I don't, there's something about Star Wars being at Comic-Con I don't even like really associated there.
It's not as big anymore.
I wouldn't say that.
I think they used to be like a little bit of kind of fan base there for Star Wars. I mean, there's still for fan base, but nothing like vendors related or anything like that.
I guess I feel like you're completely wrong there. I just feel like because they also have Star Wars Celebration and D23, it's like this third one they don't really need to go to.
Yeah.
So obviously there's a live action panel, so I don't think it's not just all Star Wars. It'll be like Kevin Feige will come out and talk about Marvel and yada yada yada. They'll come out. So at some point they'll come out and they're going to talk about Star Wars. One, I actually have a prediction. I imagine that it's going to be a lot shorter their time on stage because I don't think they're. I'll ask you, and I'll spoil my thing. I think they'll mention it as far as we're working on this, we're working on that. Do they talk about Han Solo at all? Like, more than just in passing, them being like, oh, the future Star Wars looks great, we got Last Jedi, we got Han Solo. Do they go, not even in any detail of, hey, like, look at this Ace Ventura clip. Like, do they do anything, like, reassure the fans that everything's going to be okay? You think so?
I think so. I mean...
See, I don't. I think they don't want to bring it back up.
Well, they could play it that way, but then, I mean, it's still... The Ace Ventura thing and the director's being fired, those are two huge blows to them, and I feel like they need to make it up somehow.
You need to take the Ace Ventura thing out, because the director's fired, that's confirmed. The Ace Ventura thing is just a rumor. You can't take that like they came out and said, like, look at this clip.
But then, I mean, if his acting
coach,
I mean, there's issues there, too. I mean, that falls into the Ace Ventura thing. So, it just goes hand in hand.
I guarantee you, I don't know what that website is. The website, sometimes I get my shirts when it's like the crossover shirts. Somebody has had to have made an Ace Ventura Han Solo like crossover shirt, like alrighty then or something. We need to look. If not, we need to get on that stat and we can start selling them right now because that'd be great. But so you think they're gonna come out and they're gonna talk about Han Solo and the problems?
I don't know if they're gonna like go like huge and address like the problems and everything, but I think they're gonna say like, you know what? You guys are not gonna be disappointed for Han Solo. Like, it's a great thing on its way.
Okay.
You'll be excited. Or
watch the table, Jesus.
You guys are gonna be not blown away, but
Sadek's prediction's real high. We're making the best Star Wars movie ever. So then, I'll go. I'll play devil's advocate. I think they'll mention in passing. I don't think they talk about it. I think they want to go a different route. They want to take your mind off of Han Solo, and I think they're going to pump out Last Jedi, which that's what, like, I'll go into a bit now, and we'll come back to Han Solo. So, do we get another Last Jedi trailer at D23? Because I thought for sure we get a Han Solo trailer if the Han Solo is supposed to come out next year. Do we get another one? Because when was Celebration? When did that come out? Oh, April. So, April, May, June, July. 3 months. Do you think we get another Last Jedi trailer?
I think so, because this would be, well, Would it?
Because
It would be the last one if we did.
No, it wouldn't be. We got 3 trailers for Force Awakens.
Yeah, and this will be the 3rd one.
For Last Jedi?
Yeah.
Well, name me the 2 trailers.
Shit! I thought this was
the first one we got at. The first one we got at Celebration was Mark Hamill narrating and ending with the Jedi have to end. So this would only be the 2nd one. And what are we in? July, August, September, October, November, December. 5 months away. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's my apologies. I thought this is the 3rd trailer.
Wow.
What was your question again?
I said, do you think we're getting a Last Jedi trailer at D-23? With the last one we already got was just 3 months ago.
Well, it depends. If what you say is true and they want to steer away from this Han Solo stuff.
No, I don't. That's just me projecting. I'm just saying that I think if I'm putting myself in their shoes, they want to get people talking about something else. You're taking these things I say as fact.
Well, I mean, if what you say is true.
I just don't want people to think that you're saying that I'm saying is something that I've heard or is
Travis
true.
got this back straight out of Disney.
The inside scoop. I called up George Lucas, hey, what's going on over there, homeboy? I said, I don't know.
No, I think that if what you say has truth to it and is correct, then I could see them doing that. They want to get the...
Sounds like such a worded, non-committal answer. Yes or no, do we get a trailer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before Han Solo, absolutely.
What do you mean before Han Solo?
Because did you say you thought we would get a Han Solo trailer?
Oh, you mean before a Han Solo... we get a new Last Jedi trailer before Han Solo trailer.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were saying we'd get another trailer before the Han Solo movie. I was like, yeah, I'd hope so. Han Solo's next May. I thought if this... I thought... If the force is not strong with me. If production was going well, Han Solo, and everything was lemon squeezy, I think they would have done Han Solo. Because the thing is, when the last Force Awakens trailer, I think that was that a month or 2 before the movie came out? Because I always remember the trailer and then tickets on sale.
That was when the Super Bowl.
No.
Yeah, because that's when the tickets went on sale after
Super Bowl, yeah. Super Bowl is in February?
Yeah. Isn't it? Wow.
The Super Bowl's in February. Yeah. So they put Force Awakens sale on a whole 9 months before? No, they didn't. It was during a football game. It was
during a football game.
Yeah, but you can't just... Not every football game is the Super Bowl. Not every Geek vs. Gauntlet match is the title match.
I don't play football. I don't know this stuff. But I know it was during a football game.
It was during Monday Night Football.
So maybe they'll do it during another football game.
Do what?
Put tickets on sale.
That's not my question.
What was your question?
My question was, do you remember how far away the last Force Awakens trailer? Now you're taking us off on such a long route, but we're going to get back, folks. We're going to get back on path. The last Force Awakens trailer was up about a month or 2 before Force Awakens, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, we had the first Last Jedi trailer, and then it would come out 3 months later, a new Jedi, so Jedi 2. Let's just say there's going to be 3 trailers. That means there's, between the 2nd trailer and the 3rd trailer, would be 5 to 4 months. That's the thing. They're going to do it. They're going to release the Last Jedi trailer, because I think they have nothing else to do. But I don't think that was a plan. I think they were going to hold it a bit, so it was more in the middle. Podcast listeners can't see, but I'm doing a great variation with my hand. So my pinky right here, that's the first Last Jedi trailer. This is going to be the last Last Jedi trailer. I think they wanted it here, but because of Han Solo, they got to put... Oh, can I do this? Here. So they got to put it a little early. That's how I feel about it. So I feel like we're for sure getting one. I think it throws it off, but I think Last Jedi has enough hype between Mark Hamill coming back and it's sad, but with Carrie Fisher's passing, everyone's gonna want to see that movie, see her last real performance. So I think it has a lot of hype. I think the trailer is a good idea. What are you wanting from another Last Jedi trailer?
The first trailer we got, it very much had similarities to the first trailer, or the one trailer for Force Awakens, the visions. Mm-hmm. That's what I was looking for. So I don't want to see any Luke. We got
any Luke.
No.
So not even just a frame of him.
No, because they kept that mystery about him in the first trailer for this. They showed him off in the distance instructing Rey, obviously, and then they showed him in the cave. You don't get to see him, but they just gave him that voice narration. So
that's why, so do you feel in Last Jedi for sure you barely saw him? Like
you barely saw him.
Do you want it like that, like the first one, or you just don't want him in the second trailer at all?
They could maybe like have another like a re-scene that we already saw of him, and then I would show off
We've seen like 3 scenes.
Yeah, another one of those thrown in there, and then I would probably want another clip of probably of Leia, like how they introduced like Han Solo saying "Chewie, we're home," and you got to see them. I would like Leia saying something like that as a line, and then there you go. But keep the same line, "We're home," but then keep Luke out of it because Luke is like he's the golden boy.
I think you're completely wrong. They're going to market this around him 100%.
Oh,
so I think he's going to be in it. I just want them to stay clear and do the exact same thing they did with The Force Awakens and Last Jedi so far. Trailers that show some cool images. It's never going to reach the hype of Force Awakens, but just keep it mysterious, keep it low-key. I don't need too much of the story. If they want to maybe give a few details, fine, but I would prefer them not. So
the details they give out, I mean, at the end of the day, it's kind of irrelevant because I mean we don't really know what's going on, and even when we thought with The Force Awakens the details they were putting out, I don't think any of us were really close as to what was really happening in the story.
I was close about. I was spot on about saying, Finn was a red herring, that he was not the real Jedi. I did call that, and you told me my face how long it was.
That's true.
Well, the thing is, what I mean by details is, there's scenes they can show us where we can guess and try and put stuff together. Where opposed to Rogue One, that was different because of prequel. But in those trailers, they flat out say like, "Oh, we gotta get the plans for the Death Star. We gotta destroy it." That's what I mean by details. Not like you could show certain scenes, but if they start being like Kylo Ren's like, "We found the map to Luke and we're gonna kill him," that's the details. Where if they do anything like that, I want very little. I don't want too much because Rogue One, we know at the end of the day, they're gonna get these plans. It's gonna be A-okay. Like they all die, sorry, but like it's gonna be pretty much A-okay. With this, we don't know what's going on, so I want to be pretty minuscule as any details. But I do think, what is your percentage that we get one? I say 100% we get a trailer at D-23.
I mean, there's going to be some form of trailer.
But the only thing I could count you with is they could do the classic behind the scenes, because they did that with Rogue One, and they did that.
Yeah.
Taylor's disappointed face. So that's what I mean. My percentage, I'm going 100. What is your percentage on we get a Last Jedi trailer? Not like footage or behind the scenes, like a full-on trailer.
I'm gonna do like 90% that there's trailer, and I'm gonna do 10% that there's footage. You know, they could do both probably.
Yeah, they did at Star Wars Celebration. The difference was there we didn't see last year. Remember, they showed a new Rogue One trailer apparently, but we didn't get to see that, and they just showed us the behind-the-scenes footage. Those bastards.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So back to Han Solo, because the Last Jedi kind of came out, so we went that route. Do you think the release date right now is next year of May? Do you think it hits it?
You know, that's really quick to Episode 8. I mean, I'm okay with it because it's back-to-back Star Wars, so why not?
I thought you were going to go on about, like, it needs to be in May, it has to be in May.
I think it's obvious May the 4th kind of is cool.
But it's not coming out on May the 4th.
I know, which is weird.
You got a fucking Avengers movie coming out.
I don't mind it being yearly, and I feel like that's a good break for people because everyone's gonna drop their $10 on Episode 8.
$10? What theater are you going to?
Famous Players.
I don't.
$10.99. But you know they're gonna drop their money on that, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, great movie, I'm good for the whole year." And then Han Solo's gonna drop a few months later, be like, "Oh, you know, I don't really want to spend my money on this." Like,
especially now if they've heard all the problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, it's just, I feel like it's going to confuse people more. They're going to just have seen, they know Han Solo's dead, and they're going to see Episode 8 and be like, "Oh, look at all these characters." And they're like, "Han Solo, the movie. What? Han Solo's not dead? Oh, we got to go see this movie."
See, that I disagree because Force Awakens just happened. Like, it happened so quickly that it would be only months removed, and they're going to see that it's not going to be Harrison Ford, so they're going to see a young guy. I think they'd associate that, oh, this is a prequel or in the past, I think. Even though, like, I'm the guy that said that, no, we're never sure about things. Like, I said, like, because I was on the opposite end of Rogue One. I said people are going to think this is Rey, and some people did. So, it's possible, but I think this is a bit different. They're going to have a lot of push. I think now lots of people know that it's not like it's young Harrison Ford, or not young but young Han Solo after all this controversy.
But I think like if people who aren't like in the business like us, they just hear the term like someone tells them, oh, there's a Han Solo movie coming out. They'll be like, oh, Han Solo, I thought he died. There's a movie coming out with him. That's so cool.
But you don't think the second they see a young guy, they'll be like, oh, I get.
But maybe they won't know. They won't know to some people. Like my dad, for example, they may not go online and type in Han Solo movie.
I'm saying like when they see the trailer. That's what I'm saying.
You're
If
gonna
they
see the trailer though.
They're
There's
gonna.
a lot of people,
my god!
There's a lot of people out there who may not, and it just may confuse those people.
I can believe that with other stuff. I can't believe it with a Star Wars trailer, which is gonna be attached to like all these Marvel movies.
When you look at like Rogue One and Force Awakens, I think there's so many people that they're just everyone's talking about Star Wars. Let's go see the movie, and they're just going to see it, but they don't look at the trailer. They don't pay attention to that aspect.
All right, fair enough. You never answer me. Does it stay in May? Does it hit its release date? Or are you gonna do a percentage of if you think it hits its release date?
Well, Rogue One was supposed to come out in May, or wasn't it? Or it wasn't supposed to come out in December?
It was Last Jedi was supposed to come out
in May.
Last May.
I could see it. Like 90, I could see like, and again, a 90% chance of it not.
Oh my god.
Actually, no, I'm gonna go 65%, 60%, 60% of it not getting to its day in May. Because, I mean, Force Awakens and Rogue One, now it's starting to just be a little bit conflicting, I guess, for them to get these Star Wars movies out, so it'll be delayed a little bit, probably.
Yeah.
But then 40% of me thinks, like, maybe it'll actually come out in May. Because they tried for Last Jedi, so it's obviously goes to show that they really are trying to achieve that. So I could see it happening.
This is tough for me because like I would almost go the same thing as like a 60-40 because the thing is I hope whatever happens, if it comes out in May, that's great, but I hope it comes out when they feel it's ready to go and that it's not rushed. That's my worry. My 40 to 60 is I would personally, if I guess, I don't know, if I had to put my money down, I would pick it almost not getting delayed. I think they maybe should. I think it might be safer. Plus, I already liked Star Wars in December, so I'm already on that camp. But the December of that year, I'm pretty sure it's like, I can't remember, there's a few films where there's like an animated Spider-Man movie, there's an Aquaman movie. Not that it matters, because the second Star Wars comes out, it's gonna, you know what, I'll flip. I'll say that they may, I think if I had to lean one way, I think they will move it. But I'm more almost like a 55-45 now because I think that they do want to hit that. They did obviously, because this is in May and whatever episode 9 is going to be called, that is going to be in May as well. So obviously they're trying to take over May again. So I think they'll hit it. My only worry is if it's going to be rushed, and that's where I'm going to ask you, not counting prequels, just in this new era. Do you think this will be their first? Because we talked about this a lot on Geek First. Do you think this could be their first Rodden movie?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. There's it's Han Solo. He's a great character, but I mean, just that's the story that's not going to do it for me.
For you?
Yeah, and I think a lot of other people. Like, if you were to go online right now, and there's a group of like 100 people, and you ask, "What do you want? Do you want a Han Solo movie?" Guaranteed, probably like 85% of them are gonna say no. We want Obi-Wan.
But I don't.
Yoda.
But critics aren't. I don't think gonna give it a raw review because they just don't want the movie. I think they're gonna see it. I think the movie could be really messy, and I think it could be really disappointing to people because I think it is gonna be safe, and I do. If I had to lean one way, I would say it's not going to be because Disney usually makes movies pretty well, but I think this is the first shot of me. I never, even with Rogue One when I got reshot, I never had that vibe like, oh, this could be a movie that critics actually don't like, because I think it will be strange in a day and age, because we've talked about this before, we haven't seen a Marvel film with like that Rotten Tomato right beside, and I always like, that'll be a strange day when that happens, and to me that'll be a strange day for this when this happens, and I think this could be the one. And I guess tying into my last question to do with the movies, if let's say this comes out, disappoints fans, it is rotten, do we get another spin-off in the near future? And also a D-23 coming up. A D-23, I thought 100% it was going to be Last Jedi, maybe behind the scenes because they just did the trailer. they're going to do Han Solo. And I 100% thought, because they've said that they're going to announce something in the summertime about their spin-offs. They can easily just say, oh, we're not going to. Is right now the time to do you think they announce any new spin-offs, just movie-related, at D-23? Whether that's the Bounty Hunter movies, whether that's Obi-Wan, whether that's a movie about Yaba. Yaba. Touch the Yaba.
I think that they got too much on their plate right now. They got a saga film and an anthology film in the works. I don't think... Maybe... What do they have that they need to get us excited for?
I think the main one is Obi-Wan. I think this is my question, though. So let's say it's just Obi-Wan. They come out, they announce, they go, we're making an Obi-Wan movie. Do you think now is the time to announce it? Do you think people will, even though it's Obi-Wan, that's the one everyone's asked for. They said this would be great for a spin-off. What is he doing on Tatooine before Episode 4? Do you think people can get excited right now with Rogue One already had some stuff behind it, but then Han Solo's had even more? Will people get excited, or is it going to be like, oh, but look at what happened there last time?
If they wanted to get people excited, in my opinion, and they wanted to Yaba, if they wanted to pull
a picture of Diego Luna touching Yaba. It's a great clip. Just put in Diego Luna love song with Jabba the Hutt. It's amazing. Really yeah. Anyways, continue, sir.
If they want to pull people away from this negativity on Han Solo, if they want people just to get excited, I feel like if they drop that information, Obi-Wan, no release date yet, but we've started to work on
development.
I think people would be blown away and they'd be so excited because, first of all, everyone loves Ewan McGregor, and second of all,
who is he?
Ewan, I can't.
Ewan McGregor.
Ewan, I can't. I have trouble pronouncing.
I think
his
you
name.
said it first, or right the second time, or the first one. It was like Ewan. I don't know.
Mr. McGregor.
Yeah. Obi-Wan.
I think that, and second, like people love Obi-Wan, and you're right. Like people want to know what he's been doing out in the sand.
The whole movie's just him sitting in a tent.
Even if it was like, and this is something that goes back on, like, with Rogue One tackling between 3 and 4 era, I would have loved to have Obi-Wan between Episode 2 and 3 without Anakin. Like, it could be him with the clones.
Anakin?
Like, Obi-Wan and the clones.
No, that's Anakin what the Clone Wars is. There's episodes.
I know, but not everyone. That's like most people. They don't want to watch the Clone Wars. It's a kids show. At the end of the day, people don't want to. It's a very good kids show.
Wow.
But when you think of it, I mean, that would be cool to see Commander Cody and Obi-Wan.
I don't think too many people wanted to see Obi-Wan though at that time. I think they are fine with leaving the prequel era Obi-Wan alone.
They are, but I mean, they seem to be focusing on connecting and bridging the prequels to the original trilogy.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it bridges the two, but then it moves forward in towards the original trilogy. So why not?
I don't think 2 and 3 does. I think that just bridges forward to Revenge of the Sith. Really, I don't think that does much for. Like you're saying, a movie between 2 and 3, I don't think that bridges that much to the original trilogy.
No, and it wouldn't, because they've already created that bridge, nodding towards the original trilogy. So I feel like it would be very cool, since with the games and all this stuff, they're really nodding and acknowledging, like you said, the prequels.
Yeah,
so I feel like, maybe people may not like it, but, it'd be cool if they had Liam Neeson in an Obi-Wan movie. Like, Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan back together as him as an apprentice.
Okay, wait a second. Wait, so you want, like, a prequel to Episode 1?
It would, yeah.
Oh
like, going, no Jar Jar, and not leading up to Episode 1, but I'm talking about way before with Obi-Wan.
First of all, Liam Neeson's not going to be in that movie. He can't play fucking Qui-Gon 20 years later. Yeah, he's going to look a little old. Why?
They could tweak him.
They could tweak him. And that means we wouldn't get Ewan McGregor back. Ewan McGregor is like an older man now. He was
tweak him too.
Oh my god!
No.
What is with this
that's just me fantasizing.
Just tweaking. Ooh, fantasizing.
But no, I think a movie of Obi-Wan between 3 and 4 would be fine.
And you legitimately think people will get excited for it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think people will get excited, but be cautiously excited. I don't think it's going to be, if we had no problems with Han Solo, I think if they came out and announced Obi-Wan, people, you and me would lose their mind, lots of people would just be, this is amazing, this is going to be a great movie, Ewan's coming back. I think now people will get excited. I don't think the crowd's going to like fucking boo Ewan McGregor he comes on the stage. I'm not saying that, but like, I think that crowd will be happy, but I think the online input is going to be very worrisome after Rogue One and after Han Solo. I think it will go away if Han Solo comes out and people are a fan of it. Because like I can say I didn't like Rogue One, but more people, or I liked Rogue One enough, but more people like Rogue One. So obviously it worked there. So if they can come out and do that again with Han Solo, I think that people will get more excited. But I don't think on the day D-23 people will get overly excited. I think people will be, yeah, that could be good, but what if it's gonna have a lot of problems?
Yeah.
You know, so. Yeah, and you're still in that camp that you're fine with them doing the Darth Maul thing in the Rebels instead of the movie?
I think that would have been good for the movie because in the movie Obi-Wan, he's just in solitude. He's not doing a lot as far as we know.
I feel like
on
months ago you
Tatooine.
fought me on why it was better to do it in Rebels than the movie.
Did I? I
Yeah.
can't remember.
He doesn't even know.
I don't remember this morning.
Jesus. That's safe.
I think that
Signs of a serial killer.
yeah, no, and if that's what I said, then I would definitely change that around because I feel like Darth Maul reintroduced.
There's paragraphs and paragraphs. I'll find it one day.
Darth Maul reintroduced on the big screen would have been really cool, and I think for an Obi-Wan movie, the two of them have such a long backstory together when they fought first on Naboo, and then all throughout the Clone Wars in that one story arc, he's just an amazing character, and I feel like it should have ended on the big screen.
I think your case was that people wouldn't know that backstory because they haven't seen Clone Wars or Rebels, so it wouldn't have been big for them.
Well, if he just popped up, people would be like, where the fudge did this guy come from? He got chopped in half. Like, what's going on?
But he has robotic legs. They'd figure it out.
Yeah, but it would be so confusing.
Yeah.
That's a lot of story that's just been stripped away from the average Star Wars fan who hasn't seen the Clone Wars or Rebels.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it would have been cool, maybe not to have the whole story focused around that, but to have it thrown in there, that would have been cool. But then they can't. Like, his story's done. So.
Well, they can't. Yeah, they can't now.
Yeah.
They just redo it. But yeah, you just need to see Logan because that's what I want Obi-Wan to be. It's just this guy in the desert. I understand it's on fucking Blu-ray and DVD. How haven't you gone and bought it or found somebody that has it and watched it?
Well, I almost did the other day. Well, I picked up Underworld. Shouldn't have picked up that.
No, why would you buy that instead of Logan?
I saw Logan. Logan was $19.99. I'm like, I'm gonna go over these $59 movies.
It's $4. The $4 you get much more enjoyment out of Logan. My God. Well, speaking of Rebels, let's talk about moving to just maybe a few things they're gonna be talking about because I think they either have like an animation block or a TV block. Either way, D-23 some stuff could come out. Rebels, it's on its last season. I think you watch it sporadically, or have you caught up?
I haven't caught up.
No?
I've watched little bits.
I was gonna watch it. I always said that when I started to. I'm gonna watch it. I didn't watch it. I'm going to. I always said I was gonna watch it after I finished Clone Wars, and I watched like one episode of Clone Wars every 3 months.
I'm rewatching the Clone Wars now.
Why not watch Rebels?
Because I want a fresh start at.
Okay,
I'm on
fresh
season
start.
2.
So next season, last season. So that's where I'm like, okay, I'm fine with kind of waiting because I do want to watch them all. I do hear that it starts off similar to Clone Wars, but gets better. I like some episodes of Clone Wars. I just find the first few seasons very tough to get through, and I just haven't got through the episodes where they're the good one. I don't think they're going to announce what the new show is, but there's been a bunch of rumors about they're going to do another animation show, and I imagine they will. They did Clone Wars and then right into Rebels. So do we hear anything about it this year? And then what would you want it to be centered on? What time era? What I don't know, plot, because that's kind of hard to pinpoint on an animation show, but do you want it to be new characters? Do you want it to be like about stuff that's currently happened or stuff that was in, I don't know, 6 to 7? Do you want, like, some people like the Star Wars comics are like Han, Luke, and Leia, like in between 4 and 5? What is your idea, like the next animation show?
They're tackling time frames where we don't know a lot about. Like, in between the Clone Wars, we didn't know anything. In between 3 and 4, we didn't know anything really from there.
Yeah.
I think that they're going to tackle between 6 and 7.
Mm-hmm.
They've introduced us to what's going on at the beginning of 7. That's great. They don't have to venture off further than that. In animation, it could be following the events of Episode 6. It could be a few years after. There's a 30 years worth of time that they can handle with.
So, see, that's where I push back. The only reason I can't remember what you... I think you used Battlefront, the newest game, as your example. But for me, I just didn't see them doing a show that's so close to the newest trilogy. Like, that's the thing with Rebels, they can really plan that out because they know those movies, so it's like they know every step. My worry is with Lucasfilm and that team, and maybe they'll do something that would be disconnected, maybe that's what you count me with, but my worry is they'll do something in the show, but what happens in the movies if something contradicts it or it doesn't match up and you have canon nerds like losing their mind. That's my thing of like, that's why I don't know if it would be between 6 and 7 because there's a lot you gotta play with and jumble there that you could screw up.
I think but they can handle it to the point where they're not even touching the seventh film and beyond because they can handle like creating new characters. Like between 2 and 3, that's 3 years, and they created Anakin having an apprentice, and that's a huge development in like the storyline. So
I like it now, but at first I was like, this.
Yeah.
I actually I don't know if I like it. I know people like that character, and I've seen her in other episodes, and she's better. I still don't know if I liked him having an apprentice. That felt like really, and especially because how old was she when he took her on?
I can't remember.
It looked a little too old.
Yeah. But I feel like there's 30 years that they can tackle, and they could bring over some of the other characters. Like maybe Ahsoka could still be alive. Thrawn is still alive.
Okay, Ahsoka. That's a long time. Ahsoka.
Yeah, she could still be kicking. I mean, at the end of Return of the Jedi, she could still be alive. So, and that's where this could
glad she helped them out.
That's where this could take place because after Return of the Jedi, there was so much happening. Battle of Jakku, and lots of other stuff. Like even in the novels that kind of cover it. That's where like Thrawn could make his appearance again. Like there's so many of these characters that aren't in the films that they could pull into this next generation of like the cartoon series, which I think would be cool to see like the remnants of like kind of like with the Battlefront 2 storyline. Yeah, that perspective almost.
So is this your want prediction or is it both?
It'll be a bit of both. Okay. It seems like they jump into like main characters. Like in Rebels, you got to see like Leia and all these other like main characters, and then obviously in Clone Wars, you got to see these main characters that were brought over into Rebels. So I feel like they'll do another era. My prediction will be between 6 and 7. I almost feel like it could be during the war at some point in the OG trilogy, but I feel like they wouldn't do that because they've already showcased those characters in Rebels. Most of them.
Not all of them, though. You didn't get Luke, you didn't get Han. Like,
they're characters that I don't feel like need to be in the animation because...
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't know if... I think people would have said that about, like, Palpatine and Vader, and they're in the first season of Rebels.
Very, like, barely, though. They were given their nods.
But Vader has, like, a huge fight scene, and I thought he had a big role in either one of the first or the second seasons. He was in quite a few episodes. And I hear the Emperor's coming back for Rebels.
Is he coming? Well, I guess for their finale, yeah.
Yeah.
Well... Yeah, I guess.
Because my thing is, you have comics right now that are, and I know comics are different. I don't know. Honestly, I guess predictions wise, I would lead a bit more towards you. I wouldn't before, but like I could see them just because the Battlefront thing happened. Before I didn't. I still don't think that they should play with it yet. I'll actually take it back. I keep predicting things. I'll take it back. I think they would do that when 9's done, and then they would go and film the blocks. And a lot of people have said this too. What I would want, and I don't know if it's my prediction, for some reason, like, because they can't do anything more in between 3 and 4, I imagine, right?
No.
So the only two things I'm predicting is I think they'll do something either entirely new, so something that has no character, something that is, I don't know, once again, not anything, maybe it's not Knights of the Republic, and I'd be really pissed if they did an animation form. Animation form is great, but I just want it on the big screen, but I think it's either something new, or I think what I'd want the most. I think 5 and 6, between those two. The problem is, okay, Han Solo's not really up to much, I guess, because, you know, he's a little busy.
Yeah.
But you have Luke and Leia. They can make little appearances here and there. And isn't there, like, a full year between 5 and 6?
Yeah.
Because I feel like you talk about, this is the only reason why I push back on the between 6 and 7, which we don't know that too much about. But at the same time, I feel like the newer movies are we haven't had a chance to learn that yet. Like, the newer movies are going to explain, like, Kylo turning on Luke, and where did Snow come from, you know? So I feel like that still has to be explained, so that's why I don't think 6 to 7 will happen right now. I think it could happen in the future. The thing is, like you said, like Clone Wars, that was in between 2 and 3, this big rack of wars, that was explained. 3 and 4 was Rebels, and you had that in there. 4 and 5, right now, you have comics explaining that, and now even Battlefront, you do have some stuff being explained about right after 6. the thing is with between 5 and 6, and maybe there's not too much that happened, but like I feel like a lot should happen because you look at the Luke in Empire, and I guess he finds out about Vader, but you look at the Luke in Empire and the Luke in Return of the Jedi, he's a very different person than from when we left him. You know, like he's a lot more darker now. He's a lot more experienced with the Force. I feel like, don't you think that is the era that we know the least about, other than the newest era, because they just created that out of the, not counting 6 and 7, the rest of the stuff. What do we know about what happened between 5 and 6?
All we know is that they regrouped to go get Han Solo.
Yeah, and that's like that. Like I'm sure not all of that took a year, you know. And then in the series, you could also have people like Lando. Lando was helping them out and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I feel like that area is just so unexplored, and I don't know necessarily if they'd be the main characters, but that's where I could see them kind of appearing. Like I haven't read it, but apparently there's like a comic, I think it's called like Dr. Alpha or Alpha. Do you know what it is? Is it Alpha or Alpha? But like she was her own character from the spin-off Vader comics, but apparently there's like having a crossover right now with her and Luke and the gang and whatnot. So it's the thing of, you could have the same thing like Rebels character in 5 to 6, but maybe crossover with Leia, crossover with Lando, crossover with Luke. Because to me, that era, I think the books fleshed it out a little, or maybe some video games that aren't canon anymore. So now in the new canon, there's not much known about what happened in that time.
I feel like it just comes down to they need more time to work with. They're not going to create animation just for one season. They're obviously looking at a few, maybe not as many, like for like 5 or 6 seasons, but as many as.
How many was Clone Wars?
Clone Wars was technically 6.
Technically 6, and Rebels is going to be 4.
Yeah.
So seems to be 4 to 5.
They're obviously creating these cartoons with a beginning and an end in mind.
Yeah.
So I feel like
except Clone Wars. Clone Wars ended before they wanted, right?
Yeah, that's why the 6th season is kind of it still counts, but it was cut short. But I feel like they need time for a beginning and an end. That's why I feel like a year isn't enough time. You're right. There's lots of story they could handle, but I feel like, if you look at Clone Wars, that's aimed probably the middle of the Clone Wars, I'd say, leaning towards the end, towards Revenge of the Sith. And then Rebels is leaning closer towards Rogue One as its ending, and then not so much as
it
beginning
ends,
or Revenge of the Sith.
I think they've said it ends like not right before Rogue One, but before, like relatively.
And then even in Rogue One, it has tons of nods to Rebels, the characters' names, everything, and all that. And so I feel like...
no appearances.
No appearances. Except for one.
Are you counting the ship?
No, the droid, Chopper.
Oh, where is he in that?
When Jin and Cassian, they're walking out of the hangar bay. I think that's where you can see Chopper kind of just
I'll have to look
scrolling along. But I feel like they're during these time periods, but they're closer towards a certain event or certain kind of part of the story. So I feel like between 6 and 7, again, not so much near the middle and towards episode 7, but probably closer to episode 6, the follow-up events. I'll go with that as my prediction.
All right, and I don't think they'll reveal a new show at D-23 yet, though.
No,
I think they'll let Rebels finish, and then maybe next year or something like that. They could maybe they could drop a title maybe, but I don't think they want to get people too excited and forget about Rebels. Yeah. So last thing, we're gonna quickly talk about video games because I think they have a thing there. There's been some talk about games other than Battlefront, which I have something. Like some news we can talk about. Do you think we hear anything about the other 2 games? I know Visceral's making one, the team that did the original Uncharted trilogy, and then the same team, I think it's Respawn, that did, what the fuck is that game? Is it Titanfall? Yeah, Titanfall and Titanfall 2, yeah. So there's rumors. Do you think we hear anything about those 2 games here?
At least one, I would
think. One?
I thought
because we got nothing at E3.
I know. I thought we were gonna get something because they hinted at the E3 prior to that, didn't they?
No, I don't.
Because they showed the little pre-alpha footage.
Well, what are you asking that they hinted at?
Well, they showed a unknown character walking, and you see some commotion going up in the sky above him. That was it.
I don't think they hinted at it. They teased games, but they didn't say like, "Oh, E3 next year, like look out." Yeah. So. I think we will hear about one of them. I would definitely prefer to hear about Visceral, like that team that did Uncharted. I think could do something great. I'd like some actual details of the same thing as like we were talking about the animated show of like when would it take place, who's the characters, this and that. Because for a while there was rumors that it was about a Han Solo game, but now there's rumors that it takes place. I think there was a rumor that it either took place in between 4 and 5 or 5 and 6, and you play as a different character, like not in the trilogy. Have you heard about these rumors?
No, I haven't.
No, and apparently he's like some guy that was like on the Emperor's death list, and you're just like trying to escape like the Emperor and going through all these places. So yeah, so it could be anything. But Battlefront 2 is coming out. I know you're very excited for that.
I'm beyond excited. Like, I played the heck out of the first one. I maxed out before they had the max limit at 50. I played the heck out of it. It's such a great game, and to see this in all its glory, having all the Clone Wars battles and stuff brought into it, watching the Clone Wars, and then just like hearing the clones' voices in battle on Battlefront 2, and just like the things they're saying, and seeing like the customization options.
Zone's not clear. Zone's
not clear.
God, how many memes I've gotten from Taylor? It's ridiculous.
It's the best.
It's alright.
I think that, I'm going to be decking out my clone trooper and just taking down some clankers. It's going to be amazing.
So, anyways, I'm very excited for it too. I'm actually going to be buying this. I think it's probably like a day one for me. I was the same thing. I liked Battlefront 1. I said, if they add more, I'll get it, and I will. So, apparently last Friday went the alpha on PC. And there's been some reports of, came from a Reddit user called Uninspired Zebra.
Sounds sketchy.
Yeah, but it makes sense. Leaks like this has happened before. So I'm going to go down the list of heroes. So we talk about D-23 stuff. This doesn't really tie into that, but it's just like news that we can talk about quickly, and then we'll end this episode. But so this is some heroes, some we knew about, some that seem obvious, and some that are leaked. So I'm going to read them out, and then you can let me know if you are, like, obviously if you knew about them, you're going to be a fan. But if you did not know they were in the game, then you can give me your opinion. So I don't know if he was, I guess no, he was confirmed, because we saw footage of him. I totally forgot. Boba Fett, and that seemed like an obvious one. The other thing is they have their powers here too. So it's like for the hunt, enemies around Boba Fett are revealed for a short period of time, and stuff like that. So the alpha, there's a lot of leaked from this. Han Solo, we saw E3 again. Leia Organa, have we seen officially yet? I knew we were going to get her, but have we seen officially yet?
I don't think so.
No,
the gameplay videos I haven't seen her.
Yeah, but lots of these were official, but there's some that are coming out that you'll scratch your head or they weren't 100% official.
I think it's safe to say putting the DLC characters aside, all the original heroes and villains from Battlefront 1 are being brought into this, right?
I think so, but I still think some of those could be DLC.
Yeah? Okay.
Well, maybe not, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I guess not. I guess because there's only 6, right?
Yeah.
So
Leia,
I imagine
Han,
Luke.
And Luke, and then Darth, Boba Fett, and Sidious.
Yeah, I think, on a first name basis, eh?
Yeah.
I guess it's not first name. What's his first name? Is it Sheev or something?
Or Sheev Palpatine.
Yeah, Sheev and Shmi. Luke Skywalker, of course, we know. So here's one. We talked about this last time with Battlefront, that we thought maybe he should have took Dengar's place. Bosk. How do you feel about that?
Wasn't he DLC in Battlefront 1?
You would know. I can't
remember.
I thought they didn't put him in. Because we were like, why would they put in Dengar over Bosk?
Dengar was in there. I can't remember.
I'll take a look.
I feel like Bosk was thrown in there with the Death Star DLC.
I think you're right.
Bosk and Chewbacca with
they did put him in. Yeah, because Chewbacca we weren't sure for a while. So that's, I guess, good. It's better than fucking Dengar again. I don't know why Dengar was in there to begin with. Yikes.
No, I'd take Bosk over Dengar. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's cool.
And then this list didn't have, but that was included of Finn and Captain Phasma, obviously, because it was gonna be the first one. Chewbacca, we knew, but that's kind of good because last time he came in really late to the game, so I almost thought he wasn't gonna make it. Darth Vader, that's an obvious one. Emperor Palpatine, obvious one. This is one that people have been talking about a lot. Apparently, General Grievous.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, how do you feel about that? Because right now it's and this is where it's not 100% confirmed. These are still rumors, but description was missing. Lightsabers from Jedi Council or General Grievous has slain and couldn't find abilities. So less info on him. So it could easily be something that's lying, but. Couldn't you play with him in the original Battlefront?
You could, Battlefront 2.
Yeah, 2, yeah.
Yeah, he only had the 2 lightsabers, and then when you go at it, he pulls out the other 2.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
I think that would be cool. Like, I think Grievous as a character is kind of silly, this, like, robot with a heart, but I think in Battlefront that'd be a smart thing to do. They're embracing the prequels, so that makes sense. Kylo Ren, I'm very excited to play with him for the first time, and I guess ever. And then I guess the rest of these are all because I guess that was my bad. I forgot Bosk was not in or was in there, so I thought that was another surprise. But the other ones were Darth Maul, which we saw. I'm very excited for that. Captain Phasma, Rey, Yoda we saw, and Lando. So Lando was confirmed to come back, or not confirmed, but by these rumors come back. So I think that's a pretty good roster. I'm trying to think, is there anybody missing other than Dengar? Is there anybody missing that you would want?
I would have loved to have Jango Fett in there. Because he was in Battlefront 2.
You can't have both the Fetts.
You did in Battlefront 2. The original it was. Like Boba
Fett,
I
guess so,
Boba Fett had his own arsenal, and then Jango Fett had his own arsenal too. They had their own like attributes. So I think that'd be cool. Like one being more this way and the other one being more that way, kinda. As for other characters, I'm trying to think. I mean,
I'm pretty happy with that roster. Even if that's it, because I do think. So do you think we start off with the same 6 as the last game, and then? See, I don't think so, because obviously, who do you think who's DLC? We got Finn and Captain Phasma is going to be DLC. You said the original 6, but then if that's the original 6, and then I imagine Rey and Kylo are going to be playable right away, that's 8. Then who else is DLC? Is the rat like even then? Do you think they're going to make Darth Maul DLC?
I don't think so, because they showed multiplayer gameplay with these characters and heroes in the multiplayer gameplay.
Yeah.
That they would have said if this was DLC or not. The only thing they said was DLC was the episode 8 content.
Yeah.
That's it. So I think all of them are guaranteed.
And that was just their skins though, right? I don't think that was
just
Kylo. Yeah, so then who out of that bunch is like DLC? I could see Chewie, I could see Lando.
I don't think there will be DLC. I think those because that's list is all people that they saw in their gameplay experience.
Yeah, in the alpha, yeah. But even then, Phasma's in this list, and Phasma she's DLC, remember? It's gonna come out a month later or something for Last Jedi. It's their Last Jedi DLC, remember? So Finn and Phasma don't ship with the game. They come like a month later.
Then I feel like all the other characters, I feel like they are a part of this as it is, because I feel like they're emphasizing that this is all 3 eras you're battling across. Yeah. These are all the heroes you get. It could be something like each era, here are these different. Well, they would do that because you can play any era with any hero, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, no, I think that's just what it's gonna be. You get all these access.
Do you think all these characters? Who's when they talk about their theme months? They're gonna have no characters after Finn and Phasma?
How many heroes and how many villains are there, not including Finn and Phasma?
Okay, so you got Han, Leia, Luke. Let's see, Chewbacca. And then Yoda, Rey, and Lando. So that was 7. And then for villains, so Maul, Ren, Palpatine, Vader, Grievous, Boba Fett.
Bosk.
And Bosk. So that's
7 and 7.
So it's 14 in total. And then you got Finn and then boom. So yeah, you think we don't get any other characters for DLC?
I think it's 7 each. I think that's
8 once you get the DLC too.
Once they get in, yeah. But I feel like that's what they're gonna set on as that's what it's gonna be at first, and then I feel like they have so many other characters they can tap into if they want.
I asked you and you couldn't really think of any.
I feel like they could throw in like Ahsoka. Yeah. Or Dengar again.
Not Dengar. We don't need Dengar again. What about Darth Maul's brother?
Savage Opress. That'd be pretty cool.
I don't think so. Movie people will be like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah. No, I think they could throw in like Dooku. They could throw in other Jedi like Mace Windu, Ki-Adi-Mundi. There's tons of characters.
Qui-Gon Jinn. Yeah. Well, and the other one, the biggest one, I don't know why we haven't talked about it. No Obi-Wan.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's a shame.
No Obi-Wan or Old Ben.
Yeah. Well, that's a real shame then.
I think he could come. I think he could. I don't know what villain they'd pair him with though. Maybe him and Dooku. And I guess they could always put out an Anakin Skywalker skin.
Yeah. Yeah, they got options.
Yeah. No, they do. I see. Yeah, I think you're wrong there. I think there'll still be a few characters. I don't think Finn and Phasma will be the only DLC characters. I think there could at least be another 4 to 8 characters. I think. Yeah.
It just seems weird why they would not include them with the actual game and be like, okay, here's the game.
Back. Keep him come back.
I guess.
So then 3 months later, and you're like, oh, I'm kind of done with Battlefront. They're like, hey, you want to play as old Ben running around? killing little Jawas on Tatooine.
Jawas.
Is Jar Jar gonna be DLC?
I would play the game just to get Jar Jar's.
We've not seen any Gungans in the game, so I think that's the one part of the prequels they are not embracing.
Yeah. Yeah, they weren't in the Naboo Theed Palace, that's for sure.
No. Not this go around.
That's a shame.
Do you have anything else to say on Battlefront or the gaming front for D23?
You know, on Battlefront, I'm just excited to see some more story development here, because it's an unknown frontier at this point.
Do you think that main character could possibly be a hero in the future?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely
think would technically be bad, right? Unless at the end they like turn her and it's like, oh, I've been good all along.
I think she'd be bad. You know, like that's the thing. These games will have these characters that could be brought over, like that one by Visceral. Who knows, like whoever.
Well, I don't think that one would come over. Not maybe for Battlefront 3, which you swear they're not going to make in 2 years. But
then eventually maybe characters from the Han Solo movie could be thrown in. That's what they did with Battlefront 1. They had Force Awakens DLC, and then their final DLC pack was Rogue One DLC. So
what characters from Rogue One did we get though?
Krennic and Jyn Erso.
Really? Mm-hmm. In Battlefront?
In Battlefront 1, yeah. You play as Scarif, and
you can play as Krennic.
You play as Krennic, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm pretty sure it's Krennic. It should be.
Tarkin could be another one. He's just another guy with a gun, but that's another hero you could throw in there.
Yeah.
You know, if they put in Krennic, Tarkin may as well.
Yeah. I feel there's just... Battlefront 1 has exhausted me for heroes with blasters. I mean, we got, like...
But this one you have so much variety.
And Noom and all these fuckers. Like, give me some Jedis and Siths here. I mean...
Well, it looks like you're going to get them with this game.
I am. Oh, yeah. I don't have to spend $1 or anything, because it's all free.
Let's hope. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was our breakdown of D23 predictions and maybe some offshoot talking, because this is the first episode, so it was good to get our opinions on some Star Wars stuff. But like I said, in the future, it's going to be a bit more, well, it was opinion-based, but more like we have a couple topics and whatnot we want to talk about, so it should be fun. For D23, like I said, July 15th, we are going to be doing a podcast covering all the news from that, so hopefully there'll be some good trailers, and that will be a Geek First podcast, not a Cantina Conversations. No. So, Taylor, where can they find us and all the other...
Well...
Now you got a third spin on a third show you can do this on. Great. Your little spiel. So where can they find this show, future episodes, and the rest?
Well, all you Sith and Sith Lords and Jedi, you will go into your Facebook. And you will go into the search bar.
Oh, I want some death sticks after this outro.
Want to buy some death sticks?
I do, from Yama.
Yama. So you'll type in Geek vs. Space Podcast in the search bar, and you want to specifically look for Cantina Conversations. Well, obviously you're listening to it right now, so you already found it. But, check it out.
Maybe look for us on YouTube. Or vice versa.
YouTube's got some good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Over to me?
Yeah, over to you.
Yeah, so either you're on a podcast or YouTube, please like these videos and subscribe. So if you like this, you get more of these. Or our other podcasts we got. I think this is going to be now like the 11th show we have. So we have 11 shows on our podcast network. So if you're someone that works, if you're someone that, like myself, who has an outside job and I just listen to stuff 9 hours every day, this is the channel you want to be subscribed to, because we're dropping shows almost, sometimes feels like daily now. Sometimes we have so much content. I'm looking at July, and maybe sometimes it's good to have too much content, but it's like, man, we have a lot of content coming out. So this month we got, like I said, D23. Spider-Man is this week, so that's huge. Go check out the last Gauntlet match. It was a title match between myself and Tyler Briggs, my first title defense. Did I make history and become the longest reigning Geek vs. Gauntlet champion, or do we have a new Geek vs. Gauntlet champion? Check it out on the next newscast. I think Spider-Man, I'm going to be announcing a huge match we have planned for July, so it should be good. But yeah, Spider-Man reviews this week. Apes is coming up. Comic-Con's coming up. Dunkirk. So we got a whole bunch of stuff. We'll have to find a outro for the show specifically in the future.
Well, I guess we will, yeah.
But until then, it will not be boring. Next episode, we'll have an outro for this.
We will.
May the Force be with you.
Oh, you stole my line.
Well, you should have said always.
Always.
Not always like a fucking Backstreet Boy. Always.